Hello. So after completing this exercise, I would say that the identities that I think about the most, or that I consider the most important for myself, are my core identities. So for me, that is being Latinx, Mexican American, and first generation, and being female. Um, I would say that my internal individual categories are equally important to me as my external social categories, because I have a lot of influence from like my Mexican culture of caring a lot about the community and like those around me. So the external social categories are valued a lot. I would say that my fixed identities are like the ones that I mentioned, and my secondary or peripheral identities that are more dynamic would be me considering myself a public health major. On that note, though, I think a very important fixed identity for myself is that of being a student, because I do consider myself like a lifelong learner, which is totally cheesy, but that's very important to me. And despite not being in school, I would like to always be pursuing knowledge. I think that after this exercise, I really reflected on how the words that we use to describe ourselves are so important and can become even prescriptions rather than descriptions. I also think that that is also kind of changing, though. I believe that from a historical or social perspective, identity has become less binary, less like dichotomous, and more inclusive. And I think it's on its way to becoming more descriptive than prescriptive. But a big part of that is how we talk about it and how we value our identities, right? So that's not a day-to-day change that occurs. And as I mentioned before, with like my Mexican heritage and how that influences the value that I place on like community and my family, I would say that identities are greatly influenced by cultural environments, and that cultural environments, social environments, shape the way that we identify with ourselves and the values that we place on those identities.